she's just dumb. She's dumb as a post, except a post knows it's a post. Like, she doesn't know. She doesn't know anything.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bring Your Own Book podcast. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Kelly.
And this is a little bit of a different episode. Tilly is not with us because Tilly did not want to read the book we're talking about today. And we are talking about Crave by Tracy Wolff.
And it's pretty understandable that she didn't want to read this because I myself didn't want to read this for most of this book.
Yeah, but are we still persevering? Have we bought the next two books?
Yes.
Yes, we have.
1,000 times, yes.
I feel like, should we just dive in?
Yes.
Like, what is there really to say? It's like a ripoff of Twilight?
Yeah, except they're in a, boarding school in Alaska, which she doesn't shut up about, so...
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like all of the mediocre parts of Harry Potter meets Twilight with the worst writing ever.
Yes, basically. But I mean, Miss Tracy, apparently, according to her bio, it says right here. Oh my god, how many extras? Oh, also there's a Crave app that you can play the game, get more of what you crave. I did not play along while I read along because that would have been way too much. But Miss Tracy Wolff here says she was a one-time English professor and now devotes all her time to writing dark and romantic stories with tortured heroes and kick-butt heroines. I just have questions. Like, how was this written by an English professor? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think any self-respecting professor at all, any kind of professor would use FML seriously or WTF seriously in a piece of published work. Honestly, I don't even really fault her so much with that. She had editors, I'm assuming, and they let that shit slide. Yeah.
And now she's got a movie deal, potentially.
Man, I can't wait for that movie.
I need to, mentally prepare myself. Honestly, I have to mentally prepare myself to read the next book because this was, I want to say a roller coaster, but it wasn't. It was the anti-roller coaster. It was the slowest climb, and then you went reeling toward the end, and then it was done.
Yeah.
And you just sat there thinking, wow, where did my $25 go? So.
Well, at least we can't say she's not detailed because this book was 532 pages and it covered a cumulative maybe 12 days.
Yeah. Maybe.
I would say 12 with the time that she's hold up sick.
Yeah, so if you count all the days she was unconscious, maybe 2 weeks tops.
Yeah.
Over 530 pages. We did everything with Grace, our protagonist. We did everything but pee and shower with her. Everything.
And honestly, at the point that it was, they might as well just describe that stuff to us too, because it was the only thing we were missing.
Honestly.
It could have just been a documentary.
Of the most boring and naive girl to ever go to Alaska. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Also, she was by the Alaskan mountains, Denali, which is where the Cullens' kind of cousins come from in Twilight. So she couldn't have even picked a dark place that wasn't mentioned in Twilight. I'm sure there are tons of dark places, in Scandinavia.
Yeah.
Iceland? Reykjavik. Yeah, Iceland. There's tons of dark places.
Canada?
Why?
Go to the Yukon.
Right?
Honestly, I would have been more intrigued if it were in the Yukon.
I feel like there were so many things that I would have been more intrigued about.
Yeah.
If the writing would have just been a little stronger. Like, Stephanie Meyer is not the strongest writer.
No.
But compared to this book, Twilight was a literary masterpiece.
Yeah.
It was so much better than Crave.
In the middle of this, I honestly thought to myself, do I want to just read Twilight again? I haven't read it since I was in high school. Or before high school. I don't remember when I read it. But the first time I read it is the only time I read it.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I went back, I would still have, like, some issues or whatever. But, like, compared to this steaming pile of shit, like, are you serious?
For me, I reread Twilight the first time this past January, since I read it for the first time when I was, like, in grade 7 or 8 or something. I was really young when I read them. And, like, I mean, we all know the movies. You know what the issues are, so I wasn't really bothered by anything. I had a great time. I read all 4 of them in, like, a week and a half. And I was so upset when I was done because I was having such a good time just reading these books. And I can strongly or safely say that Crave did not give me that feeling.
No.
Just no.
No.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Okay. But seriously. So I decided to annotate directly into this book because I knew that we were going to read this together and, like, dish the hot goss, as I say. And so I have a color-coded legend for, like, what pen I used when. And I started off with 3 colors, then I basically just used 1, which was angry red for most of it.
I love that.
So I had red was angry, black was general thought, and then blue was confusion or a question, which I had a few blue things at the beginning being like, wait, what? What happened? Who's Heather? Who the fuck was Heather? Heather, she said her name and her mom before she even explained who the fuck Heather was.
Oh, yeah.
And so then, chapters later, which that means like 10 pages later, okay? Chapters later, 10 pages later, she says, oh, Heather, my best friend from San Diego. Character development does not equate to just name dropping a name and then hoping for the best. Because we met like 6 or 7 friends of Jackson's who we only knew their name. No description, no personality, nothing.
Oh, yeah.
There was like, I couldn't even tell you. The only one I know is Meki or Minky. Because,
Meki.
He had the only thing happening and he was the only character I liked in this whole book.
Yeah, there was another one and his name was like Raoul or something.
Yeah, Liam, I think.
Oh, yeah, Liam was one.
And there's like 7 of them. I have no idea.
Yeah, and they're the Order.
Yeah.
Not of the Phoenix, just the Order.
Well, yeah, we don't know of what.
Yeah.
Just the Order. And then on the second book's jacket, it says the Circle. I'm like, who is the Circle? She just like name dropped people and then no explanation, but also the way she name dropped people in this book is like how I used to write scripts for kids where you have to give every kid the same amount of dialogue.
Oh.
So I used to write it as like girl 1, girl 2, girl 3, girl 1, 2, 3, whatever. So it was like Liam did this. So-and-so did that. Raoul did that. Jaxon snarled. Oh, then we have Liam again. Then this guy. That's literally how it happened. And I was like, I know what you're doing, okay?
Also, they're fictional. Their feelings are not going to be hurt.
No.
If you don't talk about them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there were a lot of things in this book. But can we just talk about the fact that she talks about Jaxon breathing so much? He is dead. He should not be breathing. Also, his heart beat quickly or whatever. Why? How? Why how? It doesn't make sense. I don't know. I'm not I would say I am a vampire connoisseur. I have read and watched and taken in a lot of vampire stuff, and never once, ever, has there been a vampire whose heart beat. You know why? Because they're dead.
Ah, yes. Right? So clear. But also he was born a vampire, which
they never explain.
Yeah, she's like, oh, so you were born a vampire? And she doesn't ask, like, how old are you? Which is always a common trope of, like, wait, if you're this undead creature, how old are you? We only find that out in one of his bonus chapters after the book has ended.
I didn't even read those. How old is he?
Oh, well, spoiler alert, everyone. He is, I believe, 200 years old. I underlined it and wrote a note. Just I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, no, Edward is 111 or something.
There's my name drop note.
I'm mad. Is that what it said?
I'm a man.
Oh.
TM. I underlined every single time someone swore in Jackson's point of view chapters astronomically higher than the rest of the book.
Really?
Because men swear. Are you kidding me? How many F-bombs did I drop at the beginning of this? Because I was like, this stupid book. Like, I can't. So he swore so many times in this. Also, he says that she smells of vanilla and honeysuckle, and it underlaid the slight tang of too many hours of travel. Ew! The tang? That's yeast, honey, okay? That's probably yeast or sweat. He's like, makes me wonder just how she'd taste. Like, tangy, sounds like.
Sweat?
Yeah.
Ugh. Sounds like she needed to do a little airplane bath.
Yeah, get a little wet wipe. Where is it? I have it in this chapter. Oh, 200 years, yep. I shoot her an incredulous look as I reach down and help her to her feet, one of the many times she is incapacitated and or hurt. Then, because she very obviously can't walk, I swoop her into my arms and do my best to ignore the fact that holding her feels better than anything has in the entire 200 years of my existence. That's sad. And also, I wrote here, clearly a fan or an editor asked how old he was because we're only learning this now.
Yeah, she didn't want to work it into the actual chapter, so she put it in this, like, side POV.
Yeah, and also, why is he 200 years old if he was born a vampire, and he only looks like he's, like, 16?
Also,
that doesn't make sense.
That would be such a deterrent for having babies if you were vampire parents. How long is it going to be a baby? He's supposed to look like, what, 16 or 17? Yeah. Like, it's their senior year.
Yeah.
So, how long was he, like, in diapers? Or do they just come out and they, like, grow, like, those things you put in water? You know, like the little like the little dinosaurs that they grow, like, they blow up in the water.
Face cloths or whatever.
Yeah, so, like, is that what happens? They just come out, like, and then they're, like, 10 years old and they're kind of functioning, and then they just age really slowly after that.
Pushing out a 10-year-old?
I didn't mean like that. I meant, like, they come out like a baby, and like then they just, and then after they're exposed to the air or something, they grow.
But if they have a beating heart, then, because you mentioned diapers, so now I'm fixated on, does he have to go to the bathroom? Because he has a heart that beats.
Yeah, but he doesn't eat.
He can eat.
Well, he ate the strawberry, and he talked about how he was in so much pain for the rest of the night, probably because he had, like, diarrhea to the max.
I wrote that! I was like, so now we know he has diarrhea. So they can have diarrhea, see? So how long was he in diapers for? Tracy, we've got the hard-hitting question.
I didn't know that it was going to take this turn, but I'm really glad it did. Because I want to fucking know. They didn't explain anything. And the backstory with his brother, whose name is Hudson, by the way, and that is the worst name, other than Jaxon.
With an X. Like Saxon, like Anglo-Saxon. Anglo-Jackson.
Yep, and then Hudson, and their last name is Vega. I'm like, you couldn't have picked a better name. Also, if he's 200 years old and the last name is Vega, that doesn't make sense.
No! None of this makes sense. And they live in Alaska? Or he goes to school in Alaska? Why? Why does this school exist? We don't know why.
Yeah, and also, Grace was supposed to be a witch. Or not supposed to be. Her dad was a warlock, and then he married a normie. So she doesn't have powers.
Yeah. But we find out at the beginning that she's being sent to this boarding school in Alaska because her Uncle Finn is the headmaster, and her parents died because her dad drove them off a cliff. So She was just sent there to be with her uncle at this crazy supernatural school, but she doesn't know it's supernatural until, like, halfway through this big, chunky book.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking annoying, honestly. I mean, even, like, Bella knew some shit.
Honestly. And then in this book, when she's like, oh, I should have known. I'm like, yeah, you should have fucking known, okay?
Yeah.
She's like, how did he survive that fall? How did this happen? Why don't they ever eat? How come they can be out in the frigid weather without any coats on? Like,
honestly, it could be because of my reading background, but the first thing I would think of if someone was being weird is, what if they're a supernatural creature?
Honestly.
The very first fucking thing I would think about is, am I going to be dating a vampire? Am I going to be dating a werewolf? Please, God, I hope I am. But, none of that.
No.
Oblivious.
And there's not just vampires and witches here. There's also dragon shifters and wolf shifters.
Oh, yeah, they're not werewolves. They're wolf shifters, which is stupid.
Yes, and the dragon shifter thing, I'm like, why? Why?
I was also just picturing, like, the little Pokemon with the fire tail.
Charmander?
Yeah.
I would rather have Charmander in this one. Oh my god. Yeah, this book, it's like, where do I even begin, okay? Like, I just found one of my notes where when she gets, like, the chandelier almost falls on her,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, who is Jaxon beating up? Oh, it looks like Cole. Oh, it's definitely Cole. And I was like, who the fuck is Cole?
Oh, he's one of the guys from the first, not the first chapter, but, like, her first major encounter. He's one of the wolf shifters.
God, I don't remember that.
And I think the other one's name is Quinn or something.
What? I literally underlined every time they said Cole because I was so mad. I was like, I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. What is this? Oh, yeah. And so after he gets in that fight to, like, say, like, I don't know, what is he even trying to do? Like, protect her honor or something? I don't even know, okay? He gets, like, a scratch on him. Or that's from the chandelier. He gets a scratch from the chandelier. And she goes and she's like, thank God I keep this first aid kit in my purse. She's been in the hospital this whole time and no one knew she had a first aid kit in her purse. She's like, I pull out the tiny first aid kit I keep inside it. Today's the first day it's actually going to come in handy. Lies.
Yeah.
And then she starts to tend to his cut on his face. I'm like, you're an idiot, okay? Because he's a vampire.
I don't know if I'm selfish, but all of the times in this book where she is hurt, like immensely hurt, her ankle is fractured, or she like dislocates her shoulder,
altitude sickness,
all this stuff, and she's just like, but how are you? I wouldn't fucking be like that. I'd be like, feel sorry for me, bitches. I am in pain. I am practically dying. I don't care how you are. He's not even alive.
No, and she tends to that cut after she knows he's a vampire. And she has this whole inner monologue of like, do vampires get infections? Do I even need to clean him up? I'm just gonna clean him up anyway because I feel better doing this. I'm like, you are an idiot, okay? Like, this is so stupid. Why are we spending time on this? Like, I don't understand.
I know. And the earthquakes.
Yes, which we find out he gets up in his feelings, can't control the hormones, okay? And he has an earthquake appear. And he almost kills her several times because he can't keep it in his pants, and he has an earthquake.
Yeah. I just couldn't get over when they're in his room, and this is like the Twilight Meadow moment where Edward's like, do you think you can outrun me? And like, I could kill you, whatever, like all that stuff. But they're in Jaxon's room and they're on his bed and he makes everything kind of float. He like drops everything and the guitar is crushed, apparently. And she's just like, but I love him and I'm fucking stupid, so I'll stay. And I think even if I thought I really loved someone, if they did something like that just to try to scare me, I'd be like, peace out, dude.
Yeah.
Like, no.
You're not scared that I killed my brother because he deserved it?
And also, she knows he deserved it, even though she's only known Jaxon for like 5 days at this point. She's like, I know you would never do anything like that. I'm like, bitch, I lived with a man for 2 years and I didn't know shit about him. Yeah. So you would be surprised.
Swear on this book, Grace, okay? Swear on it. She's everything. This whole book, she's like, I just know we have the same trauma. We connect. I understand him. He would never do that. I'm like, you don't know him. You don't even know his last name until, like, halfway through, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Carrie Underwood wrote that song, didn't she?
What?
Don't even know his last name? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what song?
That was a song, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that came out before this because I kept thinking this book was like 2014, 2015.
Oh, yeah, like soon after Twilight.
Yeah, not 2020.
And there's so many books out.
Oh my god.
The first 2 were published in the same year. And then I think there was 2 published the next year.
I mean, it became pretty apparent as soon as you started reading that it was from like just a hop, skip, and a jumping away from here.
Oh my god, all the pop culture references.
Oh my god, yeah. And like, the chapter titles, there was one about Harry Styles. What do Harry Styles and Hot Pink have in common or something? I never found the answer out. I'm like, no answers were given to any of these questions.
Yeah, they talk about their like favorite songs or their favorite music at one point, and I cannot remember what the answers
were. One of hers was Umbrella by Rihanna.
Are you... Oh, that's so gross. That's no one's favorite song.
Right? Not even Rihanna's favorite song. Like, it is overdone. Okay, here's an example of one of the chapter titles. I like standing on my own 2 feet, but getting swept off them feels surprisingly good, too. That's a chapter title.
That's, like, almost as long as the chapter.
Yeah, honestly. Seriously. Yeah, I wrote, oh my god, I just need some answers, god damn it. Because there were so many stupid things in here that we were never given any explanation for.
I know.
And she said so many times in here, she was like, I am going to grill him. I need to know the truth. And then she would see him and then she'd be like, knock, knock. Who's there? Literally, listeners, they would say stupid jokes to each other in this book and they thought it was flirting.
It kills me, honestly. Also, the awkward dialogue. All the dialogue was awkward, really. There was not any kind of natural, sequential talking at all.
And then I felt super old because right here, she's texting her friend Heather, her BFF, who we don't know anything about, and she's like, she includes the DTF emoji. And I was like, there's a DTF emoji? Like, what the hell is that?
Is it the eggplant?
That's the penis emoji, isn't it?
Well, I would say so. But
is it like a down arrow? And then like, I don't understand. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Also, okay, I'm sorry I'm jumping all over the place. This book has just got me in a spot, okay? I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. I'm rattled. I am rattled to my core by this book. She also said that Grace did a little happy dance, except she said that she did a Roomba. A self-congratulatory Roomba. And I Googled it, because as soon as I read Roomba, I was like, pretty sure that's a slow, sensual dance. And it is. It is, folks. I think she meant the samba, which is, like, lighthearted, fast fun. Like, what the hell? Who would do a slow, sensual dance to congratulate
I also
themselves?
just don't know why she had to specify. Why do you have to specify
anything else?
No, you could just say, I did a self-congratulatory dance.
Yeah.
Great, good enough. We could have just decided what the dance was for ourselves.
Honestly, the amount of times she wrote that something was ornate or elaborate and then did not elaborate, I rest my case. So suddenly she's dancing a Roomba. But Grace, this leads into what I was going to say about Grace. So, okay, Grace is so stupid. Period. But she is so stupid and such a bad example for young girls, just in general. But, like, she is so dumb that when she gets from San Diego to Alaska, she doesn't know what a scarf is. She has to look long and hard at her cousin Macy, who I also hate. and see how she ties a scarf on her neck. And then Flint, who turns out to be a dragon shifter later, because Flint is a word associated with fire, so like, hello, he invites her to this big snowball fight with like 50 or 100 other kids there. And she's like, I don't know, because I don't know how to make a snowball. And he's like, you literally just take some snow and mash it into a ball. Like, how stupid are you? But then Tracy's like, no, our heroine has to be smart. So then she's like, oh yes, she's going to recognize this obscure classical piece of music that's playing in the cafeteria. She says to herself, if I'm not mistaken, isn't this Dvorak's Noonday Witch? Like, what the fuck is that? Does she just know how to make a snowball? Right. She knows that Jaxon is misquoting Shakespeare, and yet she doesn't know what a snowball is, how to make it, how to throw it.
There's book smart and then there's street smart. And I think that this book is just proving that if you are book smart, no one gives a shit. And the street smarts are where it's at, because what a fucking idiot.
But like, is she even book smart?
I don't know, or is she just pretentious?
She probably just like read Trivial Pursuit cards over and over, like throughout the years, and she was like, yes, the Noonday Witch. Like, I don't understand. I'm just like so mad because there were so many like words that she would think to herself or say that I was like, this does not line up with who this girl is.
Maybe that's what she does when she goes to the bathroom. She just brings her cue cards in there with her.
She has like her LSAT word. She got a word.
Also, I'm at the point where I'm like, why are they even bothering just making her finish school? Because why doesn't she just live there? Because she's not going to class. She doesn't know anything. She's not doing anything with anyone else.
No, I think she went to like maybe 3 classes in those 2 weeks because she was always in the hospital from like a nicked artery from a window exploding because her boyfriend couldn't control his penis. Like, yeah. Because he had an earthquake.
Also, she never touches his penis.
No.
There's no genital touching at all.
Ken and Barbie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But the makeout sessions are hot, apparently, because he loses it every time. And she's like, every time he like looks at her, she's like basically coming. And I'm just like, what the fuck? It's like, I mean, I was a teenager, but like, it was not like that.
No, it's like Carole King up in here.
Yeah.
I feel the earth move under my feet. Every time they're together, there's an earthquake, and everyone's like, there weren't this many last year. This like whole mystery. And then we find out it's just because he can't control his urges.
Well, I don't know if that was supposed to not be obvious, but I was like, it's definitely Jaxon.
Oh, yeah.
Also, why does he have a tower room? Everybody else is like down hallways, regular seeming dorm rooms, and he has a full like
wing,
living room, bedroom, a reading nook. You know what?
It's because he's the vampire prince.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's also a prince, listeners. Okay, like, we can't even stay in chronological order because it won't make sense either way. Like, it's just stupid. This is more of a rant than a review. It is a review rant, okay? My review, 1.5 stars. I can't believe I gave it 1.5. It's a generous 1.5.
I gave it a 1, but I tried to write my Goodreads review, and I couldn't even... It's like this book made me lose how to formulate a sentence.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to write it, and I just felt like I couldn't even express in words what this book made me feel. Yeah. How angry I was that I read it, but also how much I wanted to continue.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be so bad it's good. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't. It was just so bad it was bad.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 pages are what convinced me that I needed to keep reading because I need to know.
That's why I gave it a 0.5 star more.
Oh.
Because the ending made me want to keep going. I was like, how dare you? Like, I don't know if I'm more mad that I want to keep going.
Yeah.
Because, like, this is so bad.
I know.
It's, like, objectively bad, you know?
Yeah, it is, though.
Like, we both have our hands on our head, like, what? It's just so mind-boggling. And, okay, so we've talked about Grace. She's dumb. We hate her.
Let's talk about Leah.
Yeah. Leah is Jackson's older brother's girlfriend, who he killed his older brother, Hudson, and so now she's left behind, and she's also a vampire, and she's mad because, hello, he's dead. So.
Go figure.
Yeah. She, like, befriends Grace, and I knew from the beginning this was not a good idea. Like, hello. It's just, like, obvious, but... So, yeah, she is, like, one of the more interesting people because she actually has some kind of plot or, like, importance to the plot because she makes things happen in the last 50 pages. She tries to kill Grace, tries to kill Jaxon. Yeah.
Yeah. I am happy she died.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like if she didn't die now, she would have been in it for books, and it would have just dragged on so much.
But do we know she's dead for sure?
Well, she did blow up into, like, a bunch of particles, didn't she?
Yeah, but you never know with this kind of stuff.
I know, that's true. Well, I mean, Hudson's back, so maybe he's gonna bring Leah back, too.
Yeah.
A vicious cycle. Every
week.
book, one of them dies.
Every week.
Basically. I don't know.
That's another thing. I don't understand how her Uncle Finn got this position as headmaster and how he's, like, just not in jail by now, because this school is just a hot mess, okay? People are dying. People are getting assaulted. And he's like, do I need to send you back to Prague, Jaxon? After he almost kills Cole, who we all know and love, apparently. And he doesn't get anything. He gets maybe a slap on the wrist, whatever. And Makey, or Mekhi, however you say his name, he's just like, oh, well, you know, it's kind of different because he deserved it. And it's not like he actually killed him. He just, like, almost killed him.
Yeah, he just, like, choked him with his telekinesis. So he couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
But also, if somebody said to me, if I lived in Alaska and somebody said to me, do you want me to send you back to Prague? I'd be like, yes. Yes, I do. It's beautiful there.
Oh my god.
Like, what?
Yeah.
And also, just going back to how did she not think, oh, these people are paranormal? She's the only fucking one, her and Maisie or whatever the fuck her name is.
Yeah.
The only people who wear outdoor clothes outside.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else just walking around in their jeans and t-shirt like it's a beautiful summer day.
Yeah.
So...
And it's not.
No. Maybe it is in Alaska, but that's still a pretty shit day, honestly.
Honestly. Like, she's just dumb. She's dumb as a post, except a post knows it's a post. Like, she doesn't know. She doesn't know anything. Like, that's why I just got so mad when she suddenly had these, like, quote-unquote genius factoids suddenly. I'm like, you don't know shit, okay? I don't understand. Tracy, why did you do this? Why did you write her like this? Why did you make her dumb as a post? And then suddenly she has all these, like, interesting facts and knowledge. Like, no.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. And some of the words that she used, I'm like, that is not a 16-year-old girl who doesn't know how to make a snowball. Like, I keep going back to that because I'm like, what?
Also, talking about Jackson's last name, but, like, also his first name.
Yeah.
200 years ago, do you think people were naming their kids Jaxon?
No.
With an X? At least in Twilight, Edward has a time-appropriate name.
Yeah.
Edward. Great. Edwardian period. She didn't even, it wasn't even hard for her. She was just like, yes, I'll just steal the name from the literal fucking time period he was born in. But it's still better.
Like, I just don't understand. And one of the things that also really ticked me off was the fact that, like, the dialogue in this book, we already said before, it was, like, so awkward, like, their banter, if you want to call it banter. But then, like, just with everybody, it didn't make sense. It was like, have you heard people talk? No. Because the way Jaxon speaks to Uncle Finn, who's not only his sort of girlfriend's guardian, but he's the headmaster. And so the uncle comes to the door when they're, like, together at one point and they're making out, and he's like, get ready to leave, whatever. And he's like, oh, it's fine, she still has her clothes on, or some crap.
No, Grace is just putting her clothes on.
Oh, yeah!
because he's waiting and he's like, I'm waiting, open the door, I've been standing out here like banging on it, and Jaxon goes, sorry, she's just putting her clothes on. I'm an adult, and if somebody said that to my dad, I would lose my mind.
Yeah.
That would be so embarrassing.
Yeah, and she just like giggled. She was like, Jaxon! Like, are you kidding me?
No, uncomfortable.
Oh my god, I hate him. I hate him so much. I hate everybody in this book. Macy was the worst cousin. I wrote at some point, I hope that she's a villain. I was like, that would be interesting because she is so annoying.
She is.
Oh my god.
Also, all the hot pink. Like,
I know.
Get over it.
I know. I was like, ew. Like, I underlined all of that. And her emoji pants.
Yeah.
I can't. There's just so much crap in this. Oh my god. And when Macy finally tells her about all of the paranormal or supernatural things going on, she's like, can I say how glad I am that you know now? My life is going to get so much easier. And I wrote selfish bitch. Because it's like, your cousin's been in and out of the hospital because no one would tell her anything. And then you finally decide to say something to her and you're like, oh, I feel so much better. Now I don't have to hide. Like,
also, why did she keep making her bed if she was trying to hide the fact that she was a witch?
Maybe she can't stand the mess.
But still, like, it would be 2 seconds. She'd be out of the bed for 2 seconds and turn around and be like, the bed's made. Also, Grace, what a fucking idiot that you don't know.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. She is that dumb. And, like, her uncle was like, oh, maybe I should have never brought you here. I just wanted you to be safe. She's been killed almost, like, 4 times.
Right.
Within the 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Parent of the Year award. Why doesn't Macy live with her dad, also?
Yeah, that was kind of weird to me. I was thinking, like, he must have, like, some kind of apartment in the school, you know, like a kitchen, bedroom thing, you know, like a little house. Maybe so that she can acclimate with the other students and she's not, like, the headmaster's kid.
Maybe.
Also, why is she never with Cam? That's literally her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And you see them one time together at the very beginning where it's like Grace's welcome to tea party. And
God,
and they're like making out on the couch. He says, I think he says hi.
Yeah.
He doesn't say anything else. There's like one line from Cam, and then the rest of the book, he's not there at all. And I'm like, did he just break up with Macy because she just doesn't give a shit about him?
Honestly. I don't know. And, like, he doesn't want to hang out with Grace because weird shit keeps happening to her, which I don't blame him. Like, what the fuck is up with your cousin? Like, she's always in the hospital. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I just can't. Like I said, the only character I liked was that friend who had really no purpose in this book.
Mickey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the best character by far.
Yeah, he was really nice and caring, and he looked out for her.
He didn't try to carry her around all the time. Oh, God. Grace gets to the school, and of course she has altitude sickness, so she can't do anything.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, he meets her at the bottom of the stairs, and he's like, hi, Headmaster Foster, or whatever the hell his name is, Finn, Uncle Finn, told me to show you to your room, so let me give you a piggyback ride. And she's like, oh no, I couldn't possibly. And then of course she does. So this guy who you literally just met is carrying you to your bedroom. That sounds great. What a great idea. Like, I just...
Also, like, Macy, that was also another really, like, kind of confusing subplot. Macy is so hung up on Flint. Like, she's basically jaw on the floor for him.
Yes.
The whole first part of the book. And then we never hear about that again. And she's like, no, I love Cam. And I'm like, do you love Cam?
Yeah,
because, like, you're obsessed with Flint and Cam is never around.
Yeah. Like, Grace goes out with Jaxon at one point, and then Macy's like, oh, what am I gonna do? All bored here. She's like, why don't you go talk to your boyfriend, go hang out with him? She's like, oh yeah, I guess I could. Like, what the fuck?
Right?
I don't understand.
Maybe Cam is gay and she's like a beard.
Maybe.
I don't know. I want to know more, though, because I feel like, why is that what I want to know more about?
There's no information given. Like, okay, I was giving, like, rant story reactions kind of thing on my Instagram while I was reading this, and the BYOB Instagram as well. But like, I never felt like saying spoiler alert because nothing happens of note until like the last little bit. Everything else is just like day to day, moment to moment. Oh, he picked me up. Oh, the window exploded. Oh, it nicked my artery. That's how my mom died. No, bitch, she fell off a cliff in a car. That's how she died.
Full on Thelma and Louise over there.
And that
Thelma
was so
and Louie, if you will.
That was so dramatic. She was like, oh, I just remembered my parents died from driving off a cliff at midnight or whatever crap it was. I was like, this is a lot. Like, this is so dramatic.
And then you find out Leah orchestrated it.
Yeah!
And to get Grace to the school, and Leah had been planting it in her uncle's head, Grace's uncle's head, for like months.
Yeah.
That Grace is going to come to the school when her parents die. So she gets there, and Leah tries to like be her friend, but she's also like a huge cunt the whole time. And I'm like, that's not friendly behavior. And you see some really weird stuff with her and Jaxon, and then she poisons their tea or something.
Yeah.
And Grace ends up on an altar in the tunnels. That was like not that scene, but the first time they go in the tunnels when she's with Flint. That was the only time in this book where I felt kind of any kind of emotion happening myself, like for me, like personal emotion, where I was kind of like, oh, what's gonna happen? Like,
like don't go in the tunnel.
Yeah, like that kind of creepy vibe. But that was it. That was the only time. Even when Leah was gonna kill her, I was just like, okay.
She pulls a gun out.
Yeah.
This vampire pulls a gun out.
Yeah.
She's like, it's a tranquilizer. Like, okay. Like,
can you, like, move really fast? Can't you just, like, give her the little wrestling move that knocks her out or whatever, you know?
Whatever, yeah. What's it called? The
I don't
hold or whatever?
Yeah. I don't know.
That thing,
it just made me think of John Cena. You can't see me.
But, like, also, Jaxon has telekinesis abilities or telekinetic abilities, whatever, which doesn't make any sense to me. And he also has, like, this earthquake thing that happens all the time. And his brother is supposed to be, like, the most, I'll say popular, maybe, the most powerful vampire ever created.
And he's also Hitler.
Yeah.
He is also basically Hitler.
Yeah. And he
weird fan fiction, but...
Yeah. And why am I more interested in that character than any of the other ones?
Right?
I'm not interested in Hitler, but I do want her to get with Hudson.
I do too. Like maybe she'll like go rogue and be like a villain for a while, because she turns into a gargoyle at the end of this book, which
of course she does.
Confusing in itself.
She's already had every other kind of injury happen to her.
Right. So the next logical step was gargoyle.
Turn to stone. Yeah.
I get it.
She literally is in the hospital for almost bleeding out from that earthquake disaster in his bedroom. And within hours of waking, she's like, I need to find Jaxon. And then they make out and he fucking, like, sucks her blood. I'm like, she just got out of the hospital for that.
Right? And that's how she finds out he's a vampire, because they're like, don't take this bandage off ever. Not even when you shower. Just put saran wrap over it. And then in the middle of the night, she's like, I'm going to look anyway because I'm so rebellious. Yeah. And then there's bite marks, but they're not from Jaxon. They're from the nurse who had to bite her to fix the artery that got nicked from what a piece of glass that like burrowed itself like way down into her neck. And yeah, I don't know. I wanted it to be more like a Twilight moment where she's like, I know what you are. And he's like, say it.
Yeah. I wanted to make me think of the Grinch. You're the Grinch. That would have been a way better part in this.
I know.
You're a vampire. Can you believe we're totally sober? This is like so stupid.
Yeah, just ginger ale, folks.
Yeah. Ginger ale and sun. That'll do it. But the other thing about that is, so this book, not only do they not sparkle in the sun, they can go out in the day, at night. Their venom, when they bite you, can either heal you or, like,
hurt you. Depending on how they feel.
Yeah.
So if they're happy, like, just basically, if I feel like it, I'll, like, the magic system, like, the rules are just so convoluted and, like, bad. There's no rules.
No. I need to find the part where it explains, like, how the blood drinking works, because that was also just a clusterfuck of, like, confusion. It was so stupid. Let me see here. Oh yeah, when they were gonna go to this balcony. I was like, rooftop picnic, magic carpet ride, bat ride, another stargazing session. And then they saw the northern lights, and she was like, this is another example of how stupid she is. And then she's smart suddenly. She's like, the colors are all about the elements, right? The green and red are oxygen, and the blue and purple are nitrogen. And he then says, he looks impressed. You know a lot about the lights. And I put, LOL, Nikki. Because you do lighting. I'm just like, wow, this thing is so stupid. Okay.
I hope a boy responds to me like that.
Yes. You know a lot about the lights.
The lights. Ominous.
Okay, let me find this vampire info. Jesus, take the wheel. I scrambled to my knees trying to ignore the pain of my sprained, broken, dislocated shoulder. Like, I cannot. Where do we find out the blood stuff? Is that at the very end? Maybe even broke my back. Is Grace the scarecrow from Oz? She is always falling apart.
Oh my god.
When do we find... Okay, because I'm gonna get this confused. So, okay, if you're a vampire in the Crave universe, if you drink blood from an animal...
You can go out in the day.
Yes, and if you drink blood from a human, you can't go out in the sun.
Yeah, it has to be, what did he call it? Polite Twilight or something? Not polite Twilight. Proper Twilight?
Civil Twilight.
Oh, civil Twilight.
She said civil Twilight in this book so many times, I underlined it every time, because I've never heard that before in my life.
I haven't either.
And my husband... Is that
just something that he calls it?
No,
it's real?
I think it's real.
Oh.
But they all say civil Twilight. It was civil Twilight out. It's always Twilight out, because hello, obviously. And my husband was like, maybe the author did that because she didn't want to worry about, like, copyright infringement. But I was like, no, because Jaxon gifts Grace a copy of Twilight.
That she doesn't even read.
Nope.
So, like, what a wasted opportunity. You think that she would read it and be like, he's telling me he's a vampire.
Yeah.
Like,
at one point they went into the forest that's, like, on the edge of their school grounds, and I thought they were going to see a unicorn, like in Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
I literally put, if they see a unicorn, and then I said, I hope Voldemort's in the forest.
Just put us all out of our misery.
Yes! I was just so mad. Like, and yet, we bought the next two.
Yeah, we didn't just buy one. We spent $50 and bought two. So, like, I will be reading the next two because I will not have wasted $25 on this book.
No. And they're only in hardcover.
Yeah, there's no soft cover for them. And the second book is almost 700 pages long. Yeah.
It's going to be like a week long.
Yeah.
Like a week's worth of conscious time.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to, like, take a lot of breaks because of how mad you're probably going to get. Because I've read 16 pages of it. Kelly was sitting beside me. We were reading by the pool. And I think every second line I laughed at something because it was just so ridiculous.
Oh my god.
So that's what we have to look forward to.
This book took me so long to read, first of all, because my brain would literally hurt after I read it for like an hour straight, I would feel a headache starting to form. And I was like, I need to take a break. Like, this is too much stupid in one sitting, okay? I can only do so much. I watch crappy reality shows, okay? I watch Flavor of Love.
Yeah.
Flava Flav, okay?
Yes.
This book gave me a headache. So I would read this and make annotations in it, and it would take me twice as long to read because of all the notes I wrote or all the underlining I did. But you better believe I'm going to do it again because I need to have my thoughts right there.
Maybe I'll annotate this book too, and then we can compare.
Yes!
Because I think that this is going to be more than one episode. I think it's going to be a little series with us.
Yeah. I don't know if I can do all 7 books, but I'm going to take it one book at a time.
We'll see. We're just going to do it until it becomes unbearable. Right now, it's barely bearable.
Yes.
But when it becomes unbearable, we will stop.
What's that line in Pride and Prejudice? Another great classic, just like Crave. She says, I guess, well, I don't know if it's in the book, but in the movie, Keira Knightley says, even if my partner were barely tolerable.
Yes, that would describe this book perfectly. Are we done?
Yes.
Great. And with that, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Bring Your Own Book podcast.
It probably made more sense than the actual book, so hope you enjoyed.
You're welcome for that. If you want to hear more from us, maybe keep up to date with what other shit books we're reading, follow us on Instagram at BYO Book Podcast. Yeah? Confirming.
BYO Book Podcast.
And if you want to see some funny stuff, you can follow us on TikTok at the Bring Your Own Book Podcast. And until next time, we will catch you on the flip side. Cheers!
Cheers!
Next time on BYOB, the Bring Your Own Book Podcast. Kira and I watch as Megan and Georgie run their fingers along the panel of the alien ship's hull, trying to figure out how to pry it open and get out the girls enclosed inside.